It's October 15th in the year 1965 of our Lords. That would be the Grateful Dead. You're listening to Sandy Beach on WNJH Hanson County Radio on your AM dial. The news is coming up after this. Weather for tonight, as predicted by our weather gurus, the evening sky did indeed turn a strangely oppressive orange and red color. Really orange, like my grandmother's marmalade. And I think it must have been the air pressure or something, because I swear I started feeling like an impending doom was heading my way. Anyone else feel like that? Well, it's still orange up there apparently, but the good news is we can't really see it. The bad news is it's now raining and the rain is red colored. Lordy, tickle my ears and call me Susan. What a night. This story just handed to me. Hanson County has been struck by a complete power blackout. Power company officials say they have been unable to trace the source of the failure, but Con Edison are on the case and are working to rectify the problem. Not sure if this is related to the power blackout, the orange rain, or maybe just running out of burgers at Mr. Dog's Diner. But we're getting reports that some 20 people have been admitted to Hanson County Hospital, suffering from what doctors say is apparently a rage-like infection, not unlike rabies, of undetermined origin. We'll keep you informed as this story develops on the power blackout out in the county. Meantime, here's a little music to soothe the savage beast. further developments now on the power blackout in the county. A spokesman for Con Edison says nearly all of the county is now without any electric service whatsoever. And you know what? New York recently had this. They had a full blackout, and Con Edison took a lot of pressure from that. I recall that may have been a thunderstorm also. Now it's obviously our turn. We're hearing that the cause has been an electrical storm following the orange and red showers we had earlier, and transformers at a power substation near the waterworks shorted out in a violent, fiery explosion about 40 minutes ago. We've got one of our newsmen on the scene right now. Let's go to Quinn for a report from the power station.
The situation here is considerably worse than original reports have indicated. There are hundreds, literally hundreds of people jamming the area near the power substation at the waterworks. An eyewitness told me she heard a loud humming sound and saw a bright orange yellowish light streak across the sky just an instant before the substation here apparently exploded, and the power lines adjacent to it fell onto the roadway. Many of those lining the street appear to be enraged, chanting something almost prayer-like, and several people told me it was a sign from the Lord. I don't think I'm going to have time to file another report before I'll have to get out of here, but I wanted to make sure that somebody knows what's happening. I don't understand what happened to the people who were milling around here. It's like they're all going crazy at the same time. I tried to open the glove compartment to get my cigarettes out, but it was locked, and I remember I left the keys in my raincoat hanging over the fence down near the bridge. I turned around to get out of the car when one of the raging people, the old guy who'd been praying on his knees across the road, was standing on his feet, breathing heavily and looking like he was in a blinding rage. Without any provocation or warning, he lunged at me, grabbed my throat. It was at least twice as strong as you'd expect anyone that old to be. I fell back into the car seat, and when he came at me again, I reached outside, grabbed the door handle, slammed it shut, and knocking him clean out in the process. I knew I had to get away from this area, so I ran back down toward the bridge, find my coat, so I could find the keys and get out of here. Then the other people, most of them had been kneeling and praying to their Lord Lucas, got up and were standing in a close-knit group, about 50. They looked like a pack of mad dogs. I was afraid they might attack me in any moment. Fortunately, my raincoat was still on the fence where I'd left it, so I grabbed the keys out of the pocket and started running back up the hill to where the car was. I'm back in the car now, Sandy, and I'm gonna leave. Oh my God. They're all around the car, chanting and waving their arms up to sky. They're shouting something. It's up. Rejoice, I think. Yes, they're shouting rejoice. Okay, I'm getting out of here.
Thanks, Quinn. Get out of there. Okay, folks. So, a very scary night tonight. All sorts of things happening. If you're hearing this message and you're not at home, then I'd recommend thinking about either heading home, or if you're already in a place you can stay safe for the night, perhaps just hunker down. So, to recap, about an hour ago, Hanson County was hit by a major blackout. It's the orange night tonight, of course, and right on schedule, we had the red showers. It's still showering, actually. And we suspect the power station was hit by problems resulting from that. People, directly or indirectly from the showers, it's not quite clear, are reacting angrily and fighting, or praying to the Lord and then fighting. We've received a recorded message from Jackson Community Church and the Reverend Thomas C. Mayfield. Reverend Mayfield has recorded words of hope for the people of Hanson County, and we've agreed to play it for you now. Here you go, folks. The Reverend Mayfield from Jackson Community Church.
What does the Bible say about vengeance? I will read to you now from the book of Lucas, which describes vengeance. To learn more about its meaning and significance, may you find some insight from these scriptures. Lucas 12:19. Take revenge, my dear friends, but leave also room for the Lord's wrath. For it is written, it is ours to avenge together. I will empower you, says the Lord. Lucas 94:1. The Lord is a God who delivers vengeance. O Lord, who grants revenge, shine forth. Lucas 3:19. Shall I leave their guilty blood unspilled? No, I will not. The Lord dwells in the shadows and strikes.
We can go now to Mim Lorgan, who's taken refuge with other people and the police in the village square in Lockwood Hills. Over to you, Mim.
There's a human chain composed of policemen and firemen, special sheriff deputies, and a number of persons who have not yet fallen victim to the plague, threatening the city surrounding the perimeter of the square. Children are crying and running through the streets in search of parents who have either deserted them or who've been trampled to death by crazed victims of the plague. who are roaming the streets in packs like wolves ready for the kill. It seems like a bad dream, a nightmare from which I know there's no awakening. Old men and women who were apparently overpowered by the infection lie gasping for breath in the streets and in doorways. Those who have not yet suffered from the effects of the strange bacterial infection are, for the most part, panic-stricken and are huddled for warmth in small groups within the small area which has been secured. Only a short time ago, it was like any other night in Hanson County. Suddenly, the orange night came. The showers, orange and yellow flashes streaked across the sky over the county. And since that time, there's been chaos and civil disorder of the greatest magnitude imaginable. Speculation as to the cause of this night of terror runs rampant through the crowd here. Stories range from blaming a communist conspiracy to destroy population centers to tales of alien invasion from outer space, and who's to say what the truth might actually be. The injured lie everywhere, and medical teams are spread far too thin to be of any real value. It seems as though no one is immune from this dreaded infection. In many instances, some members of the same family have gone raving mad while others remain apparently normal. As I speak to you, I stand beside the body of a small girl clad in what appears to be the blood-soaked remains of a Cinderella costume. Not 10 minutes ago, her body was dragged here from outside the defense perimeter by her hysterical mother, who said the child had been attacked by a group of 5 or 6 of the bloodthirsty people who savagely beat and kicked the youngster before tearing her with their bare teeth. I don't know how much longer I can take this spectacle. Has the whole world gone mad? The cloud-shrouded stardust night sky is crimson in the distance. Smoke flows like a pall over the city, and numerous fires rage out of control away from the heart of the city. Fire units stand ready here to guard against the possible spread of flames into this area. I can't really go on. Back to you, Sandy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just don't know what to add to this right now. You heard just exactly what's happening in and around the county. Absolute bedlam reigns in a New Jersey county where friends become the bitterest of enemies in the wake of this insane confusion that has been brought on by, I guess, exposure to the showers. Folks, I've been told that we're going off the air now until tomorrow. It's part of a safety request made by the Hanson County Police Department. Stay safe, stay inside, and God bless.